Are you guys okay in there? We might have left you outside last night. So we've been working in the mornings on the house, and then about noon to 1, we run around and do errands. Yesterday, we scrambled to get the ice and water shield for the next phase of the project, and also catch up on some necessary chores. We also managed to cram in a couple gallons of huckleberries, and they are right at peak ripeness right now. Last night when we got home, I was able to put in an extra hour and a half on the roof, putting foam in. And it's been amazing to try the things that I was talking about earlier. So far, it's been going fantastic. We haven't filmed very much of it because, well, it's kind of monotonous and boring. But the good news is, things are going a lot smoother. So last night, I put foam on the quarter of the roof on the south side. We're seeing it for the first time together. See, I don't like that. Why is there no foam coming out right there, and yet there's massive bubbles right here? That's exactly what it looked like last night when I went in. So how come the other side just keeps gushing foam, and this side seems to be hit and miss? We've got to figure this out. That's my job today. I'm going to finish the rest of the roof, but we've got to get more consistent than that. One unfortunate reality is that I think the tiredness that Alyssa and I were feeling when we were doing the roof sips started to show. The holes that we drilled for foam chasing are not really where they're supposed to be, if you will, and so a lot of them have been overlapped by furring. So I'm having to drill them out through the furring to get to the foam chase hole. And then some of the holes look like they were just drilled straight into the panel, not at an angle, into the chase. And then there's an entire panel up there that doesn't even have foam holes. I think in A, the rush, and B, the tiredness, these types of things create double work. And that's one of the things that we try to work really hard to avoid. But when you're working quickly and you're, fatigued, it's gonna happen. So today, foam. And we're sticking with the foam that we use on the other side because of its low expansion properties. And so far we've seen no buckling or anything on the inside, no effect on the sheetrock. Alyssa's gonna join me today, and she's gonna start dismantling the plywood in the loft. A couple of quick updates. One, we talked to the window company about the installation on these windows and whether or not the installation is satisfactory. Through that conversation, we learned a lot about sill flashings and adhesive membranes that can go around the nailing strip, etc. In a nutshell, I think we're going to leave it. I say I think because maybe I haven't come to grips with that in my mind. I know for a fact that the rest of the windows, we're going to use sill pans and sill flashings and go more over the top, because there's so much prevailing weather on the south and the west side that it just seems foolish not to. But we did learn a lot from talking to the local company. They have, I think, 40 plus years in the business. They're very reputable. They have a lot of experience with window manufacturers and dealing with warranty claims and things. So at this point, we're going to leave them just the way they are. They did also tell us that we could purchase this foam from a distributor somewhere, locally-ish, that is available in a 5-gallon container, instead of using the bazillion cans. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go get that. If we would have known about that 2 weeks ago, I think we would have bought that instead, because there's something to me that's completely wrong about throwing all this garbage into the dump. Like, I don't know. I get why they put it in those cans, but it drives me nuts. Like, just like hot knifing all the sips, I felt like the biggest idiot going to the dump with all this foam. The good news is we actually have found a use for some of the foam that we recently hot knifed. We're going to be using it in the ridge. Oh no, someone stole our huckleberries. Hey, someone stole our huckleberries. You know anything about that?
I moved them out of the truck.
Oh, you weren't eating them, were you?
No, I didn't have any, for real.
See fingers, hand check. Hand
They're
check.
pretty good. No purple on them, suckers.
All right, we'll believe you this time. How's the garden look?
It's going.
Should we go look?
Let's do it.
We had the beautiful privilege of giving away some of our very first garden veggies the other evening.
Yeah. Noteworthy things today. Our pepper plant is so tall it fell over last night, so I staked it. Or not staked it, I put a tomato cage around it.
Why is one pepper going absolutely bonkers and the others are like...
It was like this from its preschool years. Like the day it came home, it was really tall. Everything else looks pretty good though.
I think some people are just born to stand out. We could cut the plant in half, make it the same height as all the other plants.
Make the other plants not feel bad.
Right, about themselves. Or we could stake it and support it and say, you know what?
Thrive.
You're a tall plant, but we'll support you. In case you're wondering, yes, the chard is still exploding. Look at all the yummy peppers. Mmm. Oh, look at that little guy.
I think this is our black crim.
Oh.
I think that's a jalapeno?
Some sort of pepper.
This might be our only jalapeno that's surviving.
Are these the garden salsas? Oh yeah, they are. Uh-oh, here it comes.
Oh wow, he's so floppy. Okay, you work on the roof today and I'll hold Bugaboo, okay?
Okay, yeah. I see that he's got that all planned out, yeah.
He's totally like having it.
Mm-hmm. Bugaboo, have you been in the end of the boom of the forklift lately?
Gosh, I have not.
Have you been up in the basket?
Oh, look at him.
My goodness.
Hold on. Are you comfy? Look, he's totally gonna just like leave. He's not ready to be let down yet.
Nope. He'd like to do a garden tour this morning. Thank you. Pretty cozy up here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about taking all the plywood down.
You want our loft to stay this way?
Here's my analogy. It's sort of like when we first came to visit this area, we loved it.
Yeah.
But you have to go home so you can move there. So you don't want to leave, but you know the sooner you leave, the more you get to enjoy it for real. True. So that's kind of our plywood here, is that we really want our real flooring. It's gonna be seamless. It's not gonna be a tripping hazard. We'll have the cathedral ceiling open, so it's gotta happen, guys.
Got it?
Yep.
Nice.
All right, onwards.
You know why there's no foam coming out of holes?
Because you didn't foam them.
No, there's no holes.
Oh, right. So you need to drill the holes.
That's the spot where I need to put the holes in that skinny panel.
Gotcha. There's a line of pitch running through this floor joist here, and if you step right here, you can knock it right off. So let's not do that, eh? That's precisely why we were so picky with which timbers we allowed in our frame. There were lines of pitch on some of the larger, more important members, and we decided to just kick it to the boneyard because for a lot of these structural pieces, like, it's just not worth it. I'm trying really hard to figure out a system here. All of this plywood is kind of like intertwined with one another, so it's not obvious. You can't just start at one end and work your way to the other end. And obviously, I want to walk on the floor joist as little as possible, so a little chaotic at the moment. Whoa, that's so weird, guys. I think removing this plywood is really gonna be a wake-up call to how, like, expansive our house is. It's not that it's big. A lot of people that come by say, like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, you're building that big of a house. It's really not that big. I think it's 36 by 36, so a little over 1,000 square feet, 1,200, something like that for the living level. And then it's a partial loft, but just because of the 12-12 pitch roof and the timber frame allows us to have this, like, open house. Oh yeah, not to mention it's on top of, like, a 10-foot tall garage. Last piece, guys. Not bad, guys, not bad. Just wow. We decided we're gonna leave this front bay floored over. If you're newer to our videos, we actually plan on this not having flooring at all. We're gonna have an open cathedral ceiling all the way up. That back bay right here, we're planning on that being the master bedroom. Not immediately, it might take years. It's gonna take years to finish this house. And then we're planning on this being a bathroom and a big walk-in closet. So this is probably gonna be walled right here. And then the stairs coming up here, this is all just gonna be an open loft. That's the plan. We could put a guest bed up here. It could be sort of like a kid's bedroom, or more realistically, this will probably be an office space. If you haven't seen our 3D house tour, at least of what we think our house is gonna look like, check it out, I'll link to it right here. Great stuff. It's certainly given us a good visual of how our house could look like, or how we hope it might look. Isn't that just wild? Like, man, look at all those timbers. I'm also gonna link to our video in the corner here of us raising this timber frame. We had about 30 people come to our property, and together we cut all the joinery on this frame and raised it in under 5 days. Absolutely incredible. So on that note, Jesse's gonna finish foaming the roof. It's really, honestly, pretty repetitive, so I don't think he's gonna film much more. Instead, focus on getting the work done before the heat really sinks in. It's already warm, but we're trying to call it quits by like 1 o'clock. I'm gonna switch to getting a video edited and ready for the weekend because tomorrow we plan on installing the substrate on the roof and installing the ice and water shield. It's gonna be a project and it's gonna require both of us. And again, we're gonna prioritize getting that done. We want this roof watertight by the end of the weekend. We're still waiting on our metal roofing. That's ultimately the cherry on top, but we haven't ordered that yet. It should only take about 10 to 14 days from the time we do order it. We're not worried about it. Getting the ice and water shield on and getting the peak foamed in, it's just gonna be so incredible. So back to my point, because it's gonna be all hands on deck this weekend, I'm gonna switch to some video editing. I think we're gonna go pick more huckleberries because you just can't have enough. They're at peak ripeness right now. We wanna make more jam, maybe more mead, more ice cream. You get the gist of it. And then this evening, I think we're gonna work together to get all that plywood down from the loft. We should have done it before the windows went in, but the windows were scheduled and in before we even realized, like, duh, take the plywood out of the loft. So it's okay. It's just gonna be a little bit of the workout, but everything's more tolerable when it's not a scorcher outside. Do you wanna send the bucket down?
Yeah.
How do you like the new staple gun?
Oh gosh, it's working good.
We'll see you in a bit.
I have a question.
What?
If I tried to set the world record
For
the longest stay in a man lift, would you be my bucket person?
man, I signed up for going on this life adventure with you, so I guess yes.
But I'd have to send down a lot of stuff, if you know
Yep.
what I mean. I'd hope you'd send up huckleberries,
Oh, I would.
beef, but
Peanut butter mochas,
Yeah, but I'd be sending other stuff down.
chocolate covered whatever that my mom got us that's in the cabin and needs to be unboxed right now.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping some of that came up with the foam, but I didn't see
Ooh,
any of it.
I'll go
so.
check it out. Wow. I think my mom's trying to tell us something. Thanks, Mom. Does my mom know how to fuel a couple of home builders or what? Bugaboo, are you hot? Bugaboo, is it too hot outside for you? You goon? There's so many cooler places in the cabin. Why don't you sleep in the trailer? Air conditioning in there. The garage is cool, but both of those classify as inside. Bugaboo likes the outside. So it's 95 in the cabin. Dang. Well, we're back from Barry's and look who stayed in his box. I set up a fan for him. It was like 95 degrees in here. And if he's still here, must mean it was pretty comfy. Aw, hi Bugaboo. Total Bugaboo-in. I want your reaction. Just be calm. I open the door slowly. Oh, it's pretty cute, Dad. Thank you. Appreciates the fan.
Bugaboo, you're a silly goose, man. Oh, he says yes. Thanks, Mom.
Fan and water.
Might as well.
Poor guy.
Guy decides to sleep in an oven. Oh, he's still not happy though. Bugaboo, why are you sleeping here? We have a garage, dude. You know we built it. I know you know where it is. You put a dead bird in there yesterday.
Hey, Bugabish. Bugabish. Put your dirty clothes on.
Put my grubbies on. As my dad would say, get out of your fancy duds. You know what this is?
Money? Just pure money?
Three
just
things.
Like...
It's money, warmth, and more of those cans on the ground. But maybe this winter we'll be really thankful that we put all this effort into sealing up the roof. I'm actually curious, speaking of reactions, I want to see what the roof did while we were gone. To see if I did a good job or bad job or what. Wow.
Oh my god.
So much foam.
Wow, I don't have the zoom lens on.
Holy cow.
So I don't think you guys can see that. Wow, that's insane.
Seriously, like every hole has like half a can.
That's like 3 cans right there.
Yeah,
That's like 60 bucks. No, these are 16 bucks a pop.
Yeah, that's still probably 4 cans.
Did you have any idea it'd be that bad?
No. I put less foam in every one of those holes than I put in those holes.
the other side.
And look at those holes.
Yeah, they're not bad at all.
I think a lot of it is heat. I don't know, because we put that on last night, right? And then it cooled off.
Uh-huh.
And we put this on this morning and then it warmed up.
Wow.
I don't know. All I care is that it's doing its job inside the sips. Because we came up with an idea that when we trim all that off, we're gonna shove it in the peak so it's not waste. We're actually gonna use the foam from the sips that we hot knifed off of the other panel on the other side in the peak too. So in the end, I think we're gonna get away with practically no waste, I think.
I'm gonna get Jesse on the roof as quick as possible. I'm gonna cook some dinner. It's been really challenging working this like double shift or whatever you want to call it, like working in the morning and then doing something in the heat of the day and then working in the evening, because we're ready to work again around 5 or 6 p.m., which just so happens to be when we're about ready for dinner. So do you eat or do you get to work and eat at 9 o'clock? Really haven't found the ideal solution for that, but I'm gonna go ahead and get dinner cooked. Jesse's gonna finish this up. Probably is only gonna take him maybe, what, half an hour? Yeah. Maybe. And then we're gonna work on getting the plywood down from the loft together. Ready?
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Have my radio on me if you need a mayday call.
Yeah, don't forget to tally the huckleberries. I'm curious
Oh,
how much we got today.
Okay. Probably get some dinner cooking first, then huckleberries. Bumblebee, what are you doing in the middle of the driveway? Oh my goodness. Oh really? Oh really? Kerflop right here? Right here, Bugaboo? Didn't you kerflop here yesterday? Didn't you kerflop here yesterday? You sure know how to ham it up for the camera, don't you?
Wow, guys, I feel like such an idiot. Man, that's really frustrating. I feel like I did pretty good. There's some holes that have just little nubbins. Like that hole has no foam in it. No foam coming out. Everything else has got this thing. This is bigger than my hand. I feel like the farther I get on this roof foaming, furring project, the better I get at it and predicting what's gonna happen. But man, I feel like this foam has just been a gamble. Like the worst thing that can happen is not enough foam. Clearly, there's no rhythm. I feel like the part that we did last night is the same way. It's like 2, 3, 4 holes is like way too much foam, and then it's like 2, 3, 4 holes, not enough foam. And I tried today putting less foam, less, in every hole. I don't know. And I tried to make sure the cans are shaken up. I don't know. I guess what I can say is that inside the loft, it's feeling more homey, more solid. Just super worried that, well, I guess the big concern here is wasting product and money. I guess the biggest overarching concern is that we get one shot at this. And I guess if there's that much foam on top of the roof, man, I really hope we've got this roof sealed up. I guess with so many parts of building, there's a way to check. There's a square, a level, a plumb bob, something. And I can say that compared to spray foaming a stick frame, this feels like a lottery. I mean, when you put spray foam on a stick frame and you make it 1 inch thick, you know, you might be 3/4 in some places and 1 1/4 inches in other places or whatever. This is like about there. No, about there. No, there. Yeah. I don't know. I guess just add that to your mental notes about sips if it's something that you're thinking about doing and you're doing it this way. I want to remind viewers that the sip manufacturer recommends to put a bead of foam in the chase, or not even to create the chase, just to put a bead of foam between the panels and you're done. And I can see that. I would be concerned about the quality of the seal. But is this better? I guess that's a matter of opinion. I'm sure people who do this all the time probably do it better, but this is our reality, right? This panel, the panel connection is the middle of the roof, well, the middle of the panel joints. And this panel, we actually accidentally hot knifed. Again, we had the same problem on the other side of the roof. So we hot knifed the wrong side. That's the side that should have a 3-inch inlet. This side has a 3-inch inlet. So there's actually a 3-inch opening in there that we're going to have to fill with foam. And this is a pretty heavy foaming area just because it's challenging to get the panels perfectly tight together. Can say with confidence that where there are splines that where the splines meet, because the splines are only 4 feet or 8 feet, something like that, 8 feet. Anyway, there's spots where you can see on a panel joint, you can see in between the panels from the top. And when I'm putting foam near those areas, I've been looking inside. And it's pretty incredible. That foam definitely, if I'm using the hole that we created, which comes out in the chase that we created. You can see the foam moving laterally in that chase, and that makes me feel really good. And one area where you can really see the foam moving is on the panel-to-panel joints. When you spray on either side of those joints, because the splines are held back on all four sides, so you can basically see right down in there, you can really see the foam moving left and right. So that makes me feel really good. On the west side, I did the furring all the way down, but I was actually foaming as I went. Of course, that led to all the frustration around my lifeline getting covered in foam. I am happy to say that is not happening on this side. We did exactly what I thought, moved from the north to the middle and the south to the middle, and we've been able to avoid foam on everything. The ladder, tools, air compressor. Yes, it's a win. I realized as I was putting the furring on that I could just hold the furring off, anywhere on this first panel, because I can reach up that high from the man lift and throw it on there. And that allows me to keep my cleat on the roof. This cleat has been working really good. But as soon as I put the furring down to the bottom, now I have to put the cleat on top of the furring, and it gets a lot less stable. And I just don't want to fall off this roof. I think we may end up making some sort of tool to suspend the ladder from the ridge instead of doing this when we put the plywood on. I'm not sure on that just yet, because this ladder comes up about 4 feet short of the ridge. So you'd have to find a way to get from here to the 4-foot mark. We're always trying to stay 2 or 3 steps ahead and try to use what we learned from one stage on the next stage. This has been working good. I'm not really sure what's going to happen when we move to the plywood, other than we may be able to, use toe boards up the plywood or something like that.
The squash plant has completely engulfed everything else in its path. Oh, there's the sorrel. I think that's getting lost to shade. You guys can't even see it. Ow! In there. The sorrel plant's still fighting. Good timing. Ready to come down?
Ready.
Dinner's ready.
Yay. Yes, please.
Dinner was bomb diggity. Let's get this show on the road. It's already 8 p.m. and it'd be nice to rest tonight too. It's dark in here.
Yeah, starting to look like a house.
Get the show on the road.
Yep, this is what I call double work.
Luckily, we avoid most double work.
Yeah, ready. We're not going to be able to get the forklift through the doors because the doors aren't 8 feet wide.
Sweet.
They're
so
6
sticker
wide.
it and then one piece at a time.
Yep.
Triple work.
Yep.